One should offer their respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, to Narayan, Rishi, the supremest human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Ridyantasloya Badrani, Vidhunoti Saritsatam. Sri Krishna, who is Paramatma, the super soul within the heart of each living entity, and the benefactor, the truthful devotee, cleanses the heart of material desires of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nashta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishlaki. By regular hearing of the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, almost all that is troublesome to the heart is completely destroyed in love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs established as an irrevocable fact. Chai. So welcome. I'm very happy. We have Tulsidas with us today. Avani, thank you for coming every day. And Ben and Parth and Madhav, everyone is very steady here, so this is very good. Yeah, Tulsidas, every day, if I go 2 days without seeing you, I'm just like dejected. What is happening? Why is Tulsidas not with us here? Did he leave? Did he go to Pittsburgh? Did he not tell us? So, I don't know. I never know what's happening. So, just a little recap about where we are here. Yudhishthira had seen all the bad signs. And then, to make matters worse, Arjuna was gone for many months, went to visit Dwarka, and then he comes back completely dejected and completely upset. And so now Yudhishthira is like asking, there's proper etiquette. When you greet someone, you should ask, how are you? How are your, wherever you're coming from, how are the relatives there? How are our friends and well-wishers? You should always ask for everyone's welfare. There's a proper greeting. It's not like someone gets here immediately and you should be like, all right, what's the point? Why are you here? Well, like that. It shouldn't, you should have, there's proper greetings and things. So Yudhishthira, knowing all this, he's going through all the proper greetings of Arjuna. He's asking how all of the relatives are in Dwarka. How is everyone? How are all of our well-wishers and our friends and our loved ones? And he's also scared to hear the answer because he's gotten sign after sign. And Narada foretold that all these bad signs would come, and that means that Krishna has left. And that also means that they will leave. So, Yudhishthira is starting to realize what's happening, but he's going to hear it from Arjuna himself. But before we begin, we will, I offer my heart and my obeisances to the gurus in my life. We'll have a program on Guru Purnima today. We're going to go to Kashik and Bala's center, not right down the road. We're going to go there at 4:30 today, and it'll be like a 1 hour program. So we'll be with them. It'll be very nice. And we're going to talk about the glories of Guru and Guru Purnima. So this is actually the subject matter for today. But so I offer my obeisances to Sri Guru, who has reached my life in many which ways. All the three types of gurus, Vartma Pradarshika, Diksha Guru, and Shiksha Guru, and gurus. So I offer my humble obeisances unto all of them. And we shall chant some Mangala Charana prayers together. And these are all glorifying the spiritual master, what he does, glorifying the lineage of personalities who have bestowed this knowledge from spiritual master to reach us here today. And we are asking to be a channel. Let this Harikatha session be a channel in which Sri Krishna actually comes via this Harikatha of hearing Bhagavatam. So, this is the humble request. Srimad So, my obeisances to all of you, the Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, in all of existence. Anantakoti Vaishnavindiki. That's what that means. I personally would not keep going without you guys. And not just you guys here, but all of the Vaishnavas. Really, so many times the urge comes, like, oh, come on, just sense enjoy like you always did. You've done it millions upon millions of lifetimes. You know, there's all facility for sense enjoyment in my life. I could eat nicely, in marriage, all these things. But my better sense is telling me, don't do this. There's a higher purpose to life. But, you know, there's always that temptation that you could just, all right, go back to it. You know, you've always done it like this. It's easy. It's reliable, quick fix. But it's not. It actually always makes one more and more miserable and further implicates us. So anyhow, this is one of my sadhanas every day, to come and to recite Bhagavatam, either by myself or with people. So this is a very, very good thing we should do. This is one of the things recommended of the 5 most important things that we should do every day, is recite Bhagavatam. So let's do it. Bhagavan api Govindo Brahmanya Bhakta Vatsalaha Kachit Pure Sudharmayam Sukhamaste Suhridvritaha. Where's Piyush? Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Krishna. Api, also. Govinda, one who enlivens the cows and the senses. Brahmanya, devoted to the devotees of the Brahmins. Bhakta Vatsal, affectionate to the devotees. Kachit, whether, pure, in Dwarkapuri. Sudharmayam, pious assembly. Sukham, happiness. Aste, does enjoy. Suhrivritaha, surrounded by friends. Okay. Is Lord Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gives pleasure to the cows, the senses, and the Brahmins, who is very affectionate towards his devotees, enjoying the pious assembly at Dwarkapuri, surrounded by his friends? I told you yesterday, actually, I believe, that Bhakta Vatsal is one of the most important qualities of Krishna, and it's mentioned here in the very next verse, which I think is very interesting. But let's hear what Prabhupada has to say. Here in this particular verse, the Lord is described as Bhagavan, Govinda, Brahmanya, and Bhakta Vatsal. He is Bhagavan Swayam, or the original personality of Godhead, full with all opulences, all power, all knowledge, all beauty, all fame, and all renunciation. No one is equal to or greater than him. He is Govinda, because he is the pleasure of the cows and the senses. When we were singing Govinda Gopala, in Vivaveshesha, you hear Govinda. This is what it means. He gives pleasure to the cows. And then also Go is the senses. He also gives pleasure to the senses. Anyone who sees him, he gives pleasure to the eyes. Anyone who smells him, he gives pleasure to the nose. He's very fragrant. Anyone hears his flute, they're completely enchanted. This is one of the meanings of Govinda. He just gives pleasures to all of the cows and the senses. So those who have purified their senses by the devotional service of the Lord can render unto him real service, and thereby derive transcendental pleasure out of such purified senses. Only the impure conditioned living being cannot derive any pleasure from the senses, but being illusioned by false pleasures of the senses, he becomes servant of the senses. Therefore, we need his protection for our own interest. So when we call Govinda, the name is Govinda, it's actually a call to protect our senses. Because, as I was just mentioning, we're always victimized by the senses. Come on, just try sex again. It'll do it. It might fix it. Come on, just try, just try to taste this. It'll, but it doesn't fully give pleasure to the senses. But actually, the Supreme Lord, if you actually can somehow or other become liberated from material existence and become inaugurated into bhakti yoga, you can actually derive pleasure of the senses from the Lord. But actually, this is not so easy. Even though we're here, we're trying to practice bhakti. Because we're not practicing pure bhakti, this transcendental pleasure has not yet awakened to us. Why? Because actually there's offenses in our process. There's offenses in our approach to the holy name. We chant 10 offenses every morning, so we should learn these 10 offenses. And if we actually can overcome them, then we can derive transcendental pleasure in engaging all of our senses in bhakti yoga. Like when we're offering arati, you're feeling the heat of the deep. You're seeing the light emanating from the lamp. You're smelling the fragrance of the flowers offered to the Lord, and so on. But because our senses are so inert and mundane, we might not appreciate much. We might say, all right, oh my God, this again, and you just go through the ritual, and it's not, you're not feeling it. But actually, the person in bhakti, they can develop great ecstasy from the offerings in the arati, the engaging in the chanting of the holy name, the hearing the holy name, engaging in sight with the deities and so on. But it takes a purification process. So only the impure conditioned living being cannot derive any pleasure from the senses. And in illusion by the false pleasure of the senses, which is prayas. You know prayas? What's prayas? Yeah. Prayas. What's that? Like an endeavor, yes. But there's two types of pleasure. There's shreyas and prayas. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Yes. So the two types of you could say of the endeavors. If you do shreyas, this is long-term happiness. So activities that'll give long-term happiness. I'll give you an example. In college, you might have a test. Your long-term goal in college is to graduate with good marks, right? But the shreyas would be to take the time to study, to really do your work, and in the long run you'll enjoy the good result of getting the good marks, and you'll have a more auspicious life. The prayas is like, but we can party tonight. There's immediate pleasure right here, right now, tonight. Right? You've been there? So someone who takes prayas all the time and neglects the shreyas, in the end they don't do so well in college. They don't have such a good result of life, and they're so this is actually our problem. We take prayas over shreyas. Shreyas, the long-term happiness, is develop a life of worship, of devotion, develop a life of sattvic principles, and you can actually be happy. But instead, we take the prayas, or the false pleasure of the senses, like this can give some pleasure right now. And then you take, whether it's indulging in food, indulging in sex, indulging in, all kinds of intoxication and things like that. And there's some pleasure, no doubt. Something comes. Some little bit of little pleasure, little drop of honey comes. But then what follows is all kinds of calamity, actually. Whether it's a hangover, whether it's, the loss of one's vitality or energy, whether it's all kinds of karmic chaos that you've invited into your life by getting entangled with people you have no business getting entangled in. This is especially true of sex life that is not sanctified in marriage, and then this I've seen this in my own life and others' lives. This has run people into the ground, destroyed their inner peace. And probably many of you in this room already have some stories you can tell. Yes, this has happened before. So you can't just fall into prayas. So anyway, but we do. But the shreyas, you could say, or the long-term pleasure, and even transcendental pleasure is available, because shreyas can just be sattvic pleasures. Shreyas can be like, follow the principles of dharma. But actually the transcendental shreyas, you could say, the ultimate, the shreya uttamam, is actually, the topmost shreya is actually when you offer everything unto the Lord. And then you can be eternally happy in this position. So anyhow, let's read more. The Lord is the protector of the cows. That's Gopal. And Brahminical culture, Brahmanya. A society devoid of cow protection and Brahminical culture is not under the direct protection of the Lord, just as the prisoners in the jails are not under the protection of the king, but under the protection of a severe agent of the king. So where there is not cow protection and where there's not a Brahminical culture, don't expect protection in that type of society. That's why Prabhupada, when he's establishing ISKCON, establishing the expansions of the Gaudiya Vaishnava society, he always emphasizes there has to be cow protection and there has to be Brahminical culture. We chant Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagadataya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. And this mantra is offering obeisances unto the Lord, who is himself protecting the Brahminical qualities in human society, and the cows. The cows are very important, actually. They're very important for our own nourishment in the form of milk products. They're very important for society as a whole, because if the cow is thriving in society, there's no need to murder animals and do all kinds of inauspicious things. Actually, the cow is amazing. It can take grass and turn it into an abundance of milk. Grass is like an infinite reservoir of resource and energy in the world. If everybody actually participated nicely in caring for cows, the whole world, there would be enough food many times over for the whole world. Because milk can be turned into cheese, into yogurt, into so many things with so much protein and so much nourishment. Everything could feed the whole world. But because cows are not only not protected, but they're actually turned against and turned into hamburgers and cheesesteaks and this thing, that thing, and the other thing. Actually, inauspiciousness is all over the world. So don't expect Krishna's protection in anywhere where these things are happening. And you'll see this later, where actually specifically Kali he's given some places to reside. You'll see when Maharaj Parikit and Kali have their dealings in a chapter or two. And you'll see that in these places, Kali is allowed to, where there is violence, Kali can reign supreme. And that includes animal violence. So anyway, without cow protection and cultivation of Brahminical qualities in human society, at least for a section of the members of society, no human civilization can prosper at any length. By Brahminical culture, the development of the dormant qualities of goodness, namely truthfulness, equanimity, sense control, forbearance, meaning tolerance, simplicity, general knowledge, transcendental knowledge, and firm faith in the Vedic wisdom, one can become a Brahmin and thus see the Lord as he is. So this is actually the goal of a Brahmin, is that they can actually recognize Brahman, that they can actually understand the absolute truth. In their, they will be truthful. They will be equanimity. No matter what's happening in their life. What's that? Equanimous. Yes, they'll be equanimous. I don't know if I don't know my English like that. But they'll achieve equanimity or equanimous. And, meaning they'll see everything equally all the time, no matter what's happening. Okay, all right. So, like this thing is on the ground, no problem. Money, gold, stones, it doesn't matter. If it's not mine, it's, that I'll leave it be. They're equal in all positions. If they have good facility for their senses to be enjoyed, they're like, yeah, that's good. If they have bad facility for their senses to be enjoyed, okay, that's proper too. No problem. So these are, controlling of the senses. This is why the first teaching in Mahabharata and also the Upadeshamrita is Vacho Vegam. They control the urge to speak. Manasakroda Vegam. They control the urges of the mind and anger. Where are you going, Piyush? Okay. Jiva. Control the urge to the mind to tell you need to go somewhere else. Jiva, the tongue. Udarapasta, the belly and the genitals. All of these things, the Brahmins, they control all of these things. They control these urges. Especially anger. Anger is the result of not having our senses fulfilled. Not having our desires fulfilled, and we get frustrated in anger. But actually, whoever and whatever we're angry at, it's actually our fault. It's not the situation's fault or that person's fault, like that. It's actually our fault. So this is what we do, actually. We control. Prabhupada is trying to train us all how to be Brahminical. That's why they give Brahmin Diksha in the Gaudiya Math, they give Brahmin Diksha in ISKCON, they're giving Brahmin Diksha in all Gaudiya Vaishnava societies. Why? Because it's very important to be trained up to this standard of life. And Krishna, why? Because this is how you can approach Krishna. Krishna is favorable to the Brahmins. If you don't become Brahmin-like, don't expect Krishna's favor, actually. Now, and there it is mentioned, to become a pure Vaishnava is even higher than a Brahmin. So this is, but Krishna himself teaches all the Vaishnavas to protect Brahmin culture. And so all the things we are doing, these are the activities of Brahmins, even though we're not qualified to be Brahmins here. I'm not. I have some thread, but I'm not qualified to be a Brahmin. I don't know mantras like this. I don't have, I'm not fully peaceful. I'm not fully, all of these things. But this is like a training period that, we're hoping to train under Brahmins and Vaishnavas to ultimately inherit some of their qualities. Yes?
Why is it our fault if we're angry?
Yes, why is it our fault? It's angry? Because it's due to ignorance, actually. So I'll give you some example. If Tulsidas he doesn't come to Bhagavatam and I get angry, he should be like this, he should be like this. I'm giving away my sense of happiness to someone else, some other thing. So instead of myself being self-satisfied, I'm now relying on him to satisfy me. But guess what? There's no way that my satisfaction should ever rely on any other living entity. So if Tulsidas doesn't act how I want, oh my gosh, should I be angry? No, it's not proper. We should not think that we're the controller of other living entities. If we understand karma, if Tulsidas does something that upsets me, I should understand, if I'm in realization, that actually I deserve this. I deserve Tulsidas not coming to hear from us and participate in the programs. I deserve this. So, like this. I don't deserve to have Tulsidas's presence here. So this is actually me in knowledge. So this is actually, we should never impose someone else's free will on on ourselves. If they freely want to abide by our suggestion, that's one thing. But we should never take away someone's free will. So anger is the result of not being happy with however the many living entities are acting. The sage, the Brahmin, is always forbearing. He's tolerating. Oh, my karma is coming in this way. Tulsidas is neglecting me. Or, Parth is insulting me. Or something like this. You're not insulting me, Parth. Tulsidas, you are neglecting me a little bit. But like this. So this is our karma. We understand. We understand. This is the reaction to my past activities. So anger, there's really only two good reasons for anger. And it's not out of hatred for the soul. It's out of actually love and compassion for the soul. Two good reasons. If a soul blasphemes the devotees, or the soul blasphemes God, it's actually good to be angry with them. Not to hate them, but to actually to correct them. You should not do like this. What are you doing? You're destroying your life. If a soul, if another living entity is the tendency to blaspheme God or to blaspheme the devotees, we should save that living entity by giving them a very strong reaction that you should not do that. They should know very, very viscerally that, this is unacceptable behavior. You're destroying your life. You're destroying all good fortune in your life for many times over. But still, even that anger, even though it's in knowledge, it's Brahminical anger, it's still, it's not ideal it has to come to such a grave thing before one gets angry. But even still, any other reason for being angry, it's all in ignorance, actually. It's all thinking, some person, they should act how I think they should act. What is so special about your opinion of how people should act? Do you know? Our opinion it's pretty much worthless, actually. Our opinions. Not saying your opinion in specific is worth it. All of our minute opinions of how things should be are actually worthless. A devotee, one of the symptoms of surrender is that whatever Krishna does, they think is perfect. They think that, Krishna must have arranged this for a good reason. He's the well-wisher of everyone. Bhaktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Why am I forgetting the part? But he's Suhrit, actually was mentioned in this verse. He's, what is it next? But he's the well-wisher of everyone. He's everyone's friend, actually. So everything he does is perfect. Even COVID-19, it was perfect for everyone. Everyone might think, oh, why would Krishna do this thing? But actually, I could tell many devotees, they said, oh, the time during COVID when the world shut down and the governments were just giving everyone money and things like that, it was like, it was a really good time for a lot of people, including myself. Actually, me and my wife made, so much spiritual advancement and even material advancement during that time, just due to the rare circumstance. Everything is perfect. So anyone who's getting angry, they don't realize this. They're angry because they're not surrendered to God in that moment. They're angry because they think I'm the enjoyer and you're getting in the way of my enjoyment. So if I were to be really angry with Tulsidas, then there would be something a little wrong. If he was offending, even if he were to offend me, a Brahmin or a spiritual personality, they don't actually, when people offend them, they don't, or make offenses towards them, they forgive. They say, you know what, I deserve that. That doesn't matter. Now, if Tulsidas was offending Piyush or Ben or something like this, then it's good that I chastise Tulsidas. But because if I'm taking it as a slight against me personally, this is my ignorance, actually. Even if it, objectively speaking, is technically an offense towards me, if I'm truly Brahminical, I should accept that. Oh, that's my karma. That's what I deserve. And so like this, anger is, this is not recommended. It's a symptom of ignorance. It means we don't actually understand reality. We don't understand the Lord's arrangements being perfect. So if you find yourself, when you get angry in life, you'll find, oh, why don't I think this is perfect? Why can't I see the blessing here? So you can practice this in your life. Whenever you have the tendency to be angry, you just say, wait a second. The Lord this situation is good for some reason. The Lord has something to be gained here. And there's something I can learn from this. Maybe there's something I need to reflect on. This is a completely different situation, actually. So this is why it's a demand that one, in order to be an elevated personality, like a guru should not be one who is always angry about these things. So the guru can be angry for two things. You're neglecting the Lord, or you're neglecting the Lord's devotees. Other than that, the guru should not be angry. Why? Because anything else is based in ignorance. But actually you might find that, in your life, your spiritual advisors will chastise you. What are you doing? You just neglected all these devotees by doing this stupid thing. What are you doing? How are you going to neglect the Lord's worship by doing like this? And they might actually get on your case, but it's good, actually. Their anger is proper. So it's not that someone should never be angry, but they're angry for the right reasons. Like Hanuman. You've heard of the story of Ravan and Ram. And Hanuman rightfully got angry at Ravan. And he went, and he's glorified all across for burning down Lanka and his prowess in destroying Ravan. Why? Because Ravan did a great offense against the great personality, Sita. And Ram, who's the husband of Sita, who's actually the Lord. The great pious devotee king, or devoted king. So like this, being angry for when the Brahmins are mistreated, being angry even for when the cows are mistreated. Abhiram, his chair's over here if you want to give him his throne over here. So like this, is that good? You understand? You'll never be angry again? No, that's wise of you to say like
No,
that.
I won't.
You will never be angry?
No, like I won't be angry.
Yes, you'll probably get angry in 20 minutes. When I talk too long, you're just like, come on, where's breakfast going? Like this. So, yes, but this is our, this is the work. We would try to catch ourselves, and by meeting people who have overcome the urges of anger, we can also overcome these urges. By meeting people who control the urges of the mind always wants to be the doer. The mind is always saying, oh, I can do it. I'll figure this out. I got it. I got this handled. So it practices karma, or, oh, I know the problem, I just have to study more, and things like this. Oh, I know the problem, I just have to adjust this. Oh, I know the issue, and then I. This is not, an enlightened person, they don't act like this. The enlightened person actually they depend on the Lord. For whatever reason, I'm deserving of these things. They don't get angry, and they say, oh, Lord, what do you want from me? I'll do whatever is pleasing to you. And then that's how they act. They act, what is pleasing to you, Lord? What is pleasing? So this is the difference between the mind is like, oh, I didn't get the result I wanted. I know, I'll adjust this way. I'll do this, I'll do that. And this is called aroha pantha. Trying to self-elevate yourself. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives 3 paths of aroha pantha. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, and ashtanga yoga. But then Arjuna is saying, I cannot do all this. And so Krishna says, all right, fine. I'll give you the Rajaguyam. I'll give you the king of secrets here. And he gives bhakti yoga. And bhakti yoga is a completely different thing. It's complete dependence on the Lord in all activities of life. And doing only that which is pleasing to Him. And trusting everything will be taken care of. It's completely revolutionary. Like, oh my God, I'm not used to that. I'm always used to being the controller, the doer. I can figure this out. No. You never will. You never have. So just give up this whole self-elevationist thing. So this is actually the main demand of the mind. Teaching the mind, you're not going to figure it out. It's not up to you to figure out. Depend on the Lord. We know this intellectually. Right? We know this intellectually, but it's not really fully realized. If it's fully realized, we would only act this way. The mind would be in full control. So anyway, this is how a guru acts. This is also how a Brahmin acts. So a completely rare type of personality. So the Lord is inclined to a Brahmin of quality and not a false prestige. The stage of a devotee which attracts the transcendental affection of the Lord does not develop unless one has developed the qualities of a Brahmin, as above mentioned. Actually, this is giving a secret here, to why Vaishnavas, one, are even higher than Brahmins, and two, how bhakti itself doesn't start until you at least come to the quality, not the birth, the quality of being a Brahmin. So you will not even start bhakti, you will not actually perform any pure bhakti until you at least come to the quality of being a Brahmin. And Prabhupada is telling right here, actually, that the stage of a devotee, which attracts the transcendental affection of the Lord, does not develop unless one has developed the qualities of a Brahmin, as above mentioned. So unless you actually get all the Brahminical qualities, and it's not you doing it, unless you somehow meet someone, unless you somehow meet somebody who is of Brahminical or higher nature and learn from them and let them impart wisdom unto you and give you their mercy, no chance of becoming a devotee. No chance of actually practicing devotional service. It's all going to be your own mental adjustments. Oh, I'll serve how I know how I like to serve. I like to do this. I like to do that. I like to do this. It's just all your own mental self-elevation. I think I'll advance if I do this. I think I'll advance if I do that. Instead of what we really should be doing is taking instruction. How will I advance? How can I be helped here? Not trying, I'll do like this. I got it. No, I know what to do now. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't know what to do next, actually. This is our issue. This is why we have the Guru Parampara. We do everything under guidance. And this is why one of the favorable activities for bhakti is called Satavrite. which means the following in the footsteps of the acharyas. We have to, and one of the things, this is why pariprashna is such an important part of the introduction to bhakti process. If you don't ask questions, then it's all aroha pantha. Oh, I know, I'll try this. I'll do this. I'll do this, and I'll do this. And you'll just have some big mishmash of things that you think are bhakti, but really they're not. Really, this is your own karma yoga that you're practicing here. Your goal is, oh yes, yoga, Krishna. But it's like, but by my actions. So this is our problem, actually. This is Brahminical realization. Practicing under Guru. So anyway, and the society should follow the Brahmins. All society should follow the Brahmins. Any true king in history, you see in the Shastras, any true king, they're always advised by Brahmins. They don't act unless advised by Brahmins, actually. This is how we should be. We should strive to also be like this in our life. We need guidance. We're so used to, this is controlling of the mind. Oh, I know what to do now. I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. And we try so many things. But we have the tendency to make all kinds of mistakes. And we will. So instead of just trying to figure it out by yourself, take some guidance, actually. You'll get a lot better of a result. Trust me, in my life, I've done so much of, even in my bhakti, so-called bhakti life. I know, I'll do this now, I'll do this now, I'll do this now. And then you meet somebody who's clearly much more advanced to you, and then they smash it to pieces. Why? Because it's clear, it's evident. This personality is really advanced, and I'm not. And all of my misconceptions on things I thought were important, it turns out, nope, that wasn't important at all. So like this, very important, we take guidance from those who are more advanced than us. I hope you get to learn this. And if you don't take my guidance in this life, then at least take some guidance from someone much more advanced than me. Those who are less than a Brahmin by qualification cannot establish any relation with the Lord. Just as fire cannot be kindled from the raw earth unless there is wood. Although there is a relation between wood and the earth, since the Lord is all perfect in himself, there could not be any question of his welfare. And Maharaj Yudhishthira refrained from asking this question. He simply inquired about his residential place, Dwarkapuri, where pious men assemble. The Lord stays only where pious men assemble and takes pleasure in their glorifying the supreme truth. Maharaj Yudhishthira was anxious to know about the pious men and their pious acts in the city of Dwarka. So this is why he's asking this, and this is why he's calling Krishna these names. Bhagavan, Govinda, Brahmanya. He's calling him these because he understands these auspicious qualities of the Lord, that he gives mercy to the cows, he gives mercy to all senses, he gives mercy to the Brahmins. And then Prabhupada he's explaining the importance of Brahminical culture. So since the Lord is all perfect in himself, there could not be any question of his welfare. And Maharaj Yudhishthira refrained from asking this question. He simply inquired about his residential place, Dwarkapuri. Oh, I already read that. Okay, so let's do these verses too. Mangalaya cha lokanam, kshemaya cha bhavaya cha, aste yadukulam bodha, adyonanta sakapuman, yadbahu dandaguptayam, svapuryang yadavorchita, kridanti paramanandam, mahapurushika iva, mangalaya, for all good, cha, also, lokanam, of all the planets, kshemaya, for protection, cha, and bhavaya, for elevation, cha, also, aste, is there, yadukula ambodho, in the ocean of the Yadu dynasty, adya, the original, ananta saka, in the company of Ananta, Balaram, Puman, the supreme enjoyer. Yat, whose? Bahu Danda Guptayam, being protected by his arms. Swapuryam, in his own city. Yadava, the members of the Yadu family. Archita, as they deserve. What? Yes. That means read faster. Kridanti, are relishing. Paramanandam, transcendental pleasure. Mara Porishika, the residents of the spiritual sky. Eva, like.
I was just reminded of Holly. She used to look at me like.
Nice. Okay. The original personality of Godhead, the enjoyer, and Balaram, the primeval Lord Ananta, are staying in the ocean of the Yadu dynasty for the welfare, protection, and general progress of the entire universe. And the members of the Yadu dynasty, being protected by the arms of the Lord, are enjoying life like the residents of the spiritual sky. Purport. A couple things here. Balaram, Yudhishthira, it appears he knows of Balaram's position as the primeval Lord Ananta. The one who is actually, from which Vishnu of the universe resides on and creates the universe. So the expansion is actually Ananta, but Yudhishthira realizes that Balaram is of this caliber. And then also, he recognizes Krishna's position with Aishwarya Gyan, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So as we've discussed many times, Prabhupada is saying, the personality of Godhead Vishnu resides within each and every universe in two capacities, namely as the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the one lying on the universal waters. The universe is like an egg. Half of it is filled with water. And the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, he lies on who? Ananta. He's like a cosmic serpent. Don't ask me how to prove any of this. This is all seems, it's beyond our capacity to measure. Really, it's so great. But this is what's said to be said. And that Ananta is a very deep spiritual personality who is related to the Lord in service. And his coming to this world in Krishna Lila is Balaram. So, Balaram, and actually it's revealed in the cosmic expanse past Vaikuntha, that actually Balaram is the source of all Anantas, and Krishna is the source of all of the Vishnus, and so on. But anyway, the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is lying, and from him, his navel, the universe sprouts.
Shesha the same as Ananta?
Yes, Ananta Shesh. Yes. So
Balaram is what?
he is the source of Ananta. But for the Leela and for Yudhishthira's understanding, the legendary Ananta that they've heard about in the Vedic Shastras has now appeared in person as Balaram. So that's what his understanding is. So anyway, Prabhupada's explaining. The Kshirodakshaya Vishnu has his own planet on the northern top of the universe. And there is a great ocean of milk where the Lord resides on the bed of the Ananta incarnation of Baladev. Again, don't try to be like, I want proof of this thing. You're not going to get it. It's just beyond our ability to measure the universe. But this is what the Vedic canon and lore how it's described.
They're going to try and depict it.
What?
TOVP.
Yeah, the TOVP is going to try and make a 3D material senses, depiction of all of these, the Bhagavatam Vedic cosmology. But on the same token, these things can only be realized in samadhi, revelation through meditation, and really revelation only granted by a much more elevated personality than ourselves. So, don't think, all right, well, I'll meditate like this, or I'll study this thing, and I'll figure it out. You'll make very little progress in trying to understand all these things. What? Okay. Yes. So if you look here, you can see, where is it? This is one universe here. There's Ananta Shesh, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. From his belly, lotus stem comes up, all the planetary systems, Brahma's at the top. And then even in here, the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, he has his own separate planet. Right here, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And from here, all the demigods go to access him. They'll go to his ocean and pray to him and so on. Anyhow, so this is all kind of, explained. And now, remember, this is just one universe. If you can see, this is a close-up of one universe. And there's billions of universes coming out from the Mahavishnu. And this is all in the covering of the Karna ocean. Meaning this is the material worlds. This is the section for bad living entities.
And there's subsections.
Yes, and then these are deep coverings of the universes. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into it.
I'll leave it here.
But you can look at this. But then the explanation of the spiritual expanse is far greater than this, even way bigger than we can imagine material darkness place. So anyway, that can all be explained in Bhagavatam, but don't go too over your head, because it's not going to be, it's just way beyond our capacity to measure. We've got three-dimensional senses. The senses themselves are imperfect. We can see literally 0% of reality, So, don't spin your head over this thing. Just say, okay, that's what they say. I'll put that in my notes, and but you're not going to get the proof of your senses. Actually, your senses can't measure the absolute proof. You can try, but like for instance, the human ear will never be able to hear what a dog's ear can hear. The human eyes can never see what a butterfly's sense of vision is. Everything's a perspective of reality. So our senses to take in reality can only take in a small fragment of what, say, the technologies can take in. Actually, we're seeing practically 0% of reality with our senses. We're only able to get something. If you imagine, do you ever watch an eclipse? Anyone? Those silly glasses they make you wear at the eclipse? So it's like you have this covering of glasses and you're trying to see everything. Or even when you wear sunglasses. In sunglasses, you can't get all the finer details, like far away. When you wear sunglasses, that's what a human body and perceiving the senses through the human body is. You've got like a sense of eyeglasses, literally eyes as your glasses, and you can only take in what the capacity of the eyes to measure. You don't have like perfect absolute senses where you can see all of reality. So when it speaks of things beyond the ability of the eyes, you're going to have to just kind of being like, oh, all right, I'll note that down, but that's interesting. But that's really all as far as you can go. But this is what's described in the Vedic canon cosmology. So thus Maharaj Yudhishthira is compared to the Yadu dynasty to the ocean of milk, and Sri Balaram to the Ananta where Lord Krishna resides. He has compared the citizens of Dwarka to the liberated inhabitants of the Vaikuntha Lokas. Beyond the material sky, further than we can see with our eyes, and beyond the sevenfold coverings of the universe, there is the causal ocean in which all the universes are floating like footballs. It's interesting. And beyond the causal ocean, there is an unlimited span of spiritual sky, generally known as the effulgence of Brahman. I think he meant footballs like soccer balls.
Yeah.
If you didn't get that, because it's not like the universe is like this shaped. But anyhow, and beyond the causal ocean, there is an unlimited span of spiritual sky, generally known as the effulgence of Brahman. Within this effulgence, there are innumerable spiritual planets, and they are known as the Vaikuntha planets. Actually, my wife did because this is all described on this map. If you want to look at the map afterwards, you can see kind of a map of the universe. Each and every Vaikuntha planet is many, many times bigger than the biggest universe within the material world, and in each of them there are innumerable inhabitants who look exactly like Lord Vishnu. These inhabitants are known as the Mahapurushikas, or persons directly engaged in the service of the Lord. They are happy in those planets and are without any kind of misery, and they live perpetually in full youthfulness, enjoying life in full bliss and knowledge, without fear of birth, death, old age, or disease, and without the influence of Kala, eternal time. Maharaj Yudhishthira has compared the inhabitants of Dwarka to the Mahaporushikas of Vaikuntha Loka because they are so happy with the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, there are many references to the Vaikuntha Lokas, and they are mentioned there as Maddham, or the kingdom of the Lord. So actually there's a couple things, and we'll end here, but this is actually the benedictions of the Dham. You know, when you go to the Dham, it's actually like the spiritual world. You won't have the eyes to see it. Actually, it's recommended you don't go to the Dham too long in the beginning, because, at least Prabhupada has recommended, because the material vision is so strong that you are just going to make offenses, and then it'll maybe even kick you out. It's happened to me a few times where it's the time to go. You know, I might lose my life, you know. So this is, but the Dham actually, if you have, Dham is like a holy place. And if you go to the holy place and see it with the wrong vision, it's very dangerous actually. It's very, very dangerous. But if you're under guidance, it can be very amazing. But every time I went, I was not under guidance, and some guidance is always there. But yeah, so we, at some point, Krishna had me leave a few times, and I had learned many hard lessons in the Dhams. But for those who are, pure devotees and know how to associate in the Dham with appreciation and love for the Lord, like the Yadus, it's like it's better than the Vaikuntha Lokas, because they're with the Lord, actually. So he's comparing like Dwarka to like the Vaikuntha planets, and the Yadu dynasty, they're like in the ocean of milk associating with Kshirdakshaya Vishnu. So this is Yudhishthira's understanding, but actually it's better. It's even better than that, because Krishna himself, who he is even beyond these Kshirdakshaya Vishnus. So anywhere where the Lord resides is, it's like the spiritual world actually. And still today, if you go to the Holy Dham, if you are under the right guidance and can be shown the right vision, you can experience just like that even. So you have to, that doesn't come, you can't earn that. You know, if it comes by mercy, wonderful. But if not, we do everything in our capacity to try to please the Lord with the guidance that we have. And we can always expect the Lord's causeless mercy will come to us. So for those of us who have, you have to have even faith that there is a God, even in the first place. And then two, you have to have faith in at least some level of guru has to be there in your life. We all started with a Vartma Pradarshika guru, and then they'll introduce us to the local temple and things like that. And then serving the devotees there who are, going to be, shiksha mentors for you in the beginning, even if they're not so amazingly advanced themselves, they'll help you tremendously. And by serving them sincerely and by, trying to act in such a way to please Krishna through pleasing his devotees, because he's Brahmanya. He's favorable to those who are favorable to the Brahmins. So he's even more favorable to those who are favorable to the devotees. So then by that, then you may get, an incredibly advanced personality that you can serve. And then you serve that incredibly advanced personality who will be a guru. And so on. And who knows, then he might send you off to some weird part of the world and be like, all right, start something here. Bring people to Krishna here. So this is kind of our what happened to us in some way. We didn't have good capacity to serve. So eventually our spiritual advisor said, at least go here, do something here. So then we got rectified by this service. But when you do service under guidance, you'll be you can be blissful. You're directly connected to Krishna. When you try to invent your own service, or when you try and control and create your own service, then it's just karma yoga with maybe some tinge of bhakti. But because the tinge of bhakti is actually this is what nourishes all the paths of yoga, is the faith that okay, this will work, I'll get the result I want. But don't practice bhakti with your own results Or at least if you want results, your result should be that I could be even more pleasing to Krishna. Krishna, please make it so that I can even please you even more, in my life. And so then like that. So anyhow, these are some things. We talked about a lot of different things, just kind of recapping. Yudhishthira is still asking about how the personalities of Godhead, and Prabhupada was going into the qualities of the Lord being Brahmanya, being pleasing to the cows and Brahmins, and even the senses, which is kind of a more advanced teaching, that your senses will become pleased by your devotional activities in time, rather than your senses becoming pleased by the prayas of all right, food, sex, interesting thing on TV, or doom scroll, yes, you've all done this before, like going down the phone, and it's somehow or other giving you some prayas. It's some reel is attracting your attention and it's giving you some pleasure for some time, but then actually when you're done, you're like, what the hell have I done with my life? Why did I waste 20 minutes? Why did I waste 2 hours? Why did I waste all day? Like this. They're doing this on purpose to you, actually. They are, that's why everything's free. They say, yes, free. Social media, yes. And then you go on the social media and then they steal your time. So like this, be very careful with your, with these things. And try to find pleasure in service to the Lord. And if you don't quite know how can I do service to the Lord? There are people who know how to do some service to the Lord, so you ask them, actually. And then guess what? They'll help you. So, anyhow, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Hare Krishna. Please eat breakfast. We have a nice program today. If anyone's interested in a service to the Lord, there is a group of people down the road who are going to sit for a Guru Purnima program, and we're going to teach them a little bit about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and share kirtan with them. If you were to come and to join in on the kirtan and even hear the class, it's a good chance that you'll make great benefit, and there may not be better opportunities, at least in Syracuse, for such an activity today. So, today?
Yeah.
So we will meet here at about 4:30, and no, not 4:30, I lied. We will meet here at about 4 or 4:15, and then we will go there by 4:30. And it's right down the road. So, if you could join, that's wonderful. Could you?
Says hi.
Who is?
Laura,
Oh, that's my mother.
Oh, no.
Yes, so hi, Mom. So, very good, interesting.
Hi,
She's very good. So, Hare Krishna, thank you.